So I love playing Wuthering Waves, and I feel like a lot of people who also play will in generally agree with me, except for the people who are like, "Oh, it's just a copy paste of Genshin Impact." Like, no, but yeah, actually, kinda. But Wuthering Waves is still a relatively new game, and there are a few things that going forward that they can definitely add or improve on to keep it up there as a solid game and it doesn't fall off. And I'm going to be doing that by looking at two games that are in the genre that Wuthering Waves can definitely learn from and, improve as a game. Um, I'll also be bringing in two other games because I'm ridiculous, and there are some comparisons that I will be making, and neither Genshin Impact nor Honkai Star Rail have solid examples that I can kind of use um, for things that personally I would love to get changed. Side note before I jump into this is generally my own opinion. I did look at reviews online for not only Wuthering Waves, but also Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. I will be mentioning that. There are not spoilers in this video, except for the very beginning of Honkai Star Rail, like within the first 5 minutes. Also, the screenshots that I have for Wuthering Waves, I use as art inspiration and just reference. They might have very minor spoilers. Don't look too closely at them. It's fine. Just, they're pretty, okay? Just be nice to me. Specifically me. Thank you. So I'm going to start off with the good things about Wuthering Waves. The plot, first off, is pretty interesting. It's pretty unique to a lot of other very similar games, and I don't know of, with the exception of the recent Zelda games, that there has been an RPG where we're trying to actually regain memories or learn about ourselves in a place that we have some sort of past history with. So I'd say that it's pretty different um, than Honkai in that regard. Like, the beginnings are very different, we aren't made in the first 5 minutes of the game. Like, we are an existing person. And yes, I will be bringing up Breath of the Kingdom again because, yeah, you gotta find out. Wuthering Waves is also just a very pretty game. This was a very large part of their appeal to players. The graphics are beautiful, the character design is stunning, and while I feel like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail are both very pretty, and they definitely did target that, they didn't target it specifically like Wuthering Waves did. You know, I also feel like the Wuthering Waves cares a lot more about player input than either Genshin or Honkai. I don't remember if there's just been one survey or they've given us another. Um, but from also what I've seen online, there's a lot of people who think that it's going to be taken into account to differentiate Wuthering Waves from Genshin Impact. There's also the fact that Wuthering Waves is very much made for almost every kind of player. You can skip through a lot of exposition and dialogue if you just want to get to the fighting. There's a lot of fighting you can do. It's great in that regard. Moving on to the bad things about Wuthering Waves, or what I like to call the things that definitely need to get changed. Most of this is picked up from the internet. My personal biggest gripe is that my iPad literally cannot handle the graphics. It's really sucky. It's probably on me. My iPad overheats, and I don't think that Wuthering Waves would be able to fix that. But I hate that. Also, kind of saw this online, noticed it myself. The cooldown is just way too long. I'm trying to explore, and I'm like, whoa, that's a huge TD right there. The cooldowns are a little too long to be able to be reasonably used. People online have been saying that they should just be gone with because it doesn't make sense to have cooldowns in what is being advertised as a very fast-paced RPG. And, cooldowns. Yeah, that's fair, actually. Also, as someone who didn't really get too much into actually playing Genshin Impact, I didn't really notice how copy paste it is from Genshin Impact. But it's a very copy paste. There's videos out online. People have written about it. It's pretty obvious once you notice it. Also saw this online. but character actions or motions that they take while parrying, or even some of the attacks are just really similar. Yes, between Genshin, but also just between the characters in Wuthering Waves themselves. I'm gonna be honest, and I feel like for a game that's so focused on design, it's weird and does not make any sense to me. I feel like you could add a lot more depth about individual characters through how they actually do those motions, parrying, attacking, and whatnot. They all probably learned from very similar places, but everybody's different, and I'd like to see that be reflected in the actual game. So now I'm going to talk about Genshin Impact because it's pretty much copy paste. Also, this is a very solid transition. The good things about Genshin Impact, the character design is really pretty. There's a lot of characters. They're all pretty unique, and they have very different storylines and pasts from one another. They haven't been reusing anything. Also, the setting in Genshin Impact is just really unique. However, it only makes a little bit of absolute no sense to me. Um, that while the map for Genshin is super huge, it's really close. Like some places are just really close together, and they have very different styles of buildings. Um, like you don't see anything that's really like a cool mishmash of both Mondstadt and Leeway. And I feel like, those are both some old places, and I feel like they would have mixed over a little bit more over time. But, I'm probably just being silly about this. Also, a really cool thing about Genshin Impact that I'd like to see is the different skins for the gliders. Those are cool. Wuthering Waves is a design game. It's pretty. Everybody has the same glider, and it's weird. And then the things about Genshin Impact that Wuthering Waves should definitely learn from is that it's just too long. If you want to get through everything, it takes forever. If you have to catch up now, good luck, buddy. Especially since it's been going on for a while now and they have pretty consistent updates. Also, there's events that you really miss out on if you aren't playing while they're going on, and that sucks, especially if you're a player who joined because you just happen to know people who are playing, and that happens to be enough incentive to get you to play. New players miss out on a lot that will probably never come back. Some events are really cool, and I wish I could have been able to play during them, and I can't now. Also, Genshin Impact is so big. You need a lot of storage for it, which will limit players if they don't have that. It sucks, and while it's pretty much everywhere, and you can play Genshin on like every device ever, it's way too big to download to be reasonable for, I'm gonna be honest, most people. And then finally, last gripe with Genshin is that it's really hard to play as a free-to-play player. The gacha is pretty important, especially if you want good characters or good weapons or anything. So, that's not great. Moving on to Honkai Star Rail, which is the second game that comes to mind when I think about games that are similar to Wuthering Waves. Um, the combat is great specifically because the camera doesn't move. As a mobile player who just can't move the camera as quickly or accurately as someone playing on PC, I lose enemies a lot. Also, just in general, I can't walk in a straight line. Like, this is a thing that was brought up for one of the, like, something that you had to do in Genshin, um, for, like, a challenge thing. Like, mobile players can't walk in a straight line. Sorry, I guess. I'll be bringing up Honkai's combat and their weird thing with the camera later. It's mostly a personal thing, but oh well. Also, another thing that I really like about Honkai Star Rail is that the gacha isn't really as important as in Honkai as it is in Genshin Impact, uh, which is fantastic because I feel like, first of all, getting the tickets can kind of be a pain in the butt. Also, I'm a free to play player, and I also happen to not care about pulling for most characters. Most people will disagree with me. Oh well, I guess. And then continuing the pattern, you can probably tell where I'm going with this. The bad things about Honkai Star Rail, what Wuthering Waves could learn from. The style combat is weird. It's really unique. Feels like you're playing a card game, but you're not, which is weird. It's strange. It's weird. It's a mishmash of playing something like Pokemon Let's Go and then also Genshin Impact. Um, Personally, I don't play online card games. These are the two games that I thought I could use to describe Honkai's style of combat the best. It's not great, I will acknowledge that. I don't know if I like how you do combat in Honkai Star Rail. Like again, it makes it really easy. Um, it stands out though among other games in the genre. So, anyways, Wuthering Waves probably can't take much from that, other than the whole camera thing and not being able to lose enemies. Also, another gripe that I have with Honkai Star Rail is that the names of things and characters, you know, they don't make any sense. March 7th? They have a month named March? Okay, because, she was found, whatever. They haven't mentioned Earth pretty much at all. I don't think that they have at all. And, they have a month named March? And there's at least 7 days in a month. Okay? They have at least 1 month that is at least 7 days. I haven't played Honkai to double check this at all. But you know what? It's even more the existence of Sunday. Okay, as a character, you can look up everybody's analysis on the meaning of his name all on your own. I think it's weird. Yes, it is cool that there is a character named Sunday, which is a day of the week. But again, I don't think that Earth exists in this universe, so again, really weird. Sunday in an existence where they don't have, it's weird that they have the same, week and, month format thing that we do. There's a better word for that. I find it weird as somebody who thought this was a space game. Just work like Star Wars. Moving on. So I've talked about Genshin Impact, and I've talked about Honkai Star Rail and the things that Wuthering Waves can learn from them. But now I'm going to talk about the recent Legend of Zelda games, because you're really going to have to trust me here. I have to be one of the very few people in the world who at all think that Wuthering Waves feels like the recent Zelda games. I will explain. Exploring the map feels very similar because you're putting the thing in the tower thing, and that's how you discover where stuff on your map is. That's mostly the gist of it. The other, not mostly of the gist of it is, I know I'm going crazy when I'm saying this, but whenever I'm walking around and I'm exploring, I feel like I'm playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Kingdom. I don't know if it's the motions or just how you navigate terrain. It feels very similar. That's strange. I'm strange. This is fine. Something that I feel like Wuthering Waves can learn from Breath of the Kingdom is climbing. There's weather in Wuthering Waves, and it doesn't really impact your climbing at all. I should know this because I played for 3 hours yesterday morning just to make sure that I wasn't going crazy when I was going to be saying this. And that's fine. If it's raining, sure, you can have a perfectly fine time climbing things. I don't care. This might have also been changed in the recent update. When I was playing on the update, I never got weather, so I couldn't really double check that. I don't think they changed that. It wasn't in any of the logs, at least as far as I saw. However, the thing that they should definitely take from Breath of the Kingdom, and probably also Genshin Impact, so you know how you climb in Wuthering Waves? Sometimes, when you try to climb, and, it's just deep enough, and you're kind of at the wrong angle, and you're going back, onto your back, you're climbing, almost like something was a ceiling. It doesn't let you continue, and you cannot climb up anymore, and you're kind of just stuck unless you drop down, or you might be able to go around some places. That doesn't really make any sense. If there's a roof, God forbid, you can't really do anything if there's any sort of overhang for a roof. Rover has long arms, okay? Rover can totally reach. I feel like they should let us climb more stuff. Give me freedom. This probably makes no sense, and I'm very sorry, but I would like to climb more things. Even if it doesn't make any sense for me to be climbing there. Um, so this is the last game. Uh, if you thought I was crazy when I was talking about Zelda games, get ready for this. Minecraft. So, in Wuthering Waves, there are railings. They actually seem to care about OSHA in this game. Um, there's a lot of railings over things, but if you're walking a little too far, or you're walking a little too close to the railings, all of a sudden, you're going to be going over the railing. You might be able to stop while you're, like, standing on the railing, but if you look you're basically going to be going over at some point. And yes, while there's no fall damage, which is kind of cool but also kind of strange, I feel like Minecraft does a really nice job of making you jump to go over things. Like, you don't have to just step up. I feel like, yes, there are some things in Wuthering Waves that would make this pretty annoying. Like, you shouldn't actually have to jump to climb over absolutely every single thing. But at least for railings, can they make you jump over it? Please? It's a little weird and it's a little annoying when I have to go and backtrack because I was stupid and there wasn't any fast travel up near where I was. Um, Again, personal gripe. Oh well. In conclusion, let my iPad handle the graphics. Cool down with the cooldowns. Move away from being a copy paste of Genshin. Make the character actions and motions more unique from one another. Have different gliders available, or even different ones for each character, even if us as the characters can't change them around. I'm gonna be honest, somebody has customized a glider, and I'm gonna find them, and I'm gonna get them, and it's gonna happen, but everybody has the same gliders. Don't make the storyline too long, and bring back events once in a while for newer players. Limit how much storage is actually needed once the game starts to increase a lot, which might not happen, but it'd be nice if they at least said something about it when the game needed that much storage. Make it easy for free to play players to have good weapons, and don't make the gacha a huge part of the game. Please add a setting that players can check to have the camera adjust um, to either the closest enemy or one that's going to attack us the soonest. Don't make the names of items overly complicated, or maybe just like there's like an index thing. Maybe put more things than you think you need in it. Let us climb some more. Don't make me commit a workplace accident and accidentally fall over the railing. So, these are my thoughts. Do I feel crazy? Yes, but I love Wuthering Waves, and it's just a little baby.